All right, this is Jeff Zimmerman with FightNews.com. I'm with rising star George Rincon from Dallas. Fights on a huge card coming to Dallas, Frisco at the Star Ford Center in Frisco, Texas, August 14th. It's a Saturday night on the Vergil Ortiz versus Mean Machine card. How you doing, George?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good.
That was a lot to spit out there for a second.
Yeah.
So you're fighting back at home for the second time. You're on Vergil Ortiz's, I wouldn't call it his coming out party, but fought a former champion and Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker the last time you fought in March in Fort Worth, and now you're back fighting on his card. How does that feel?
And it's always a good opportunity, to fight on cards like that. Vergil's, he's out there, man, and this fight's definitely gonna push him even higher. But it's always good to have, especially back home, a group of fighters, local fighters that are also up and coming, and everyone to put on a show. Last time we fought in Fort Worth, still, I consider that, hometown, DFW area. But this one right here will literally be in my backyard. I live, no more than 10 minutes away from the Star, so I'm excited to see everybody back home.
Does that put on added pressure for you fighting at home, or is that just something you're used to as a fighter?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as exactly pressure. I mean, yeah, of course, you always want to do good in front of family and friends, but at the same time, it's always a really good feeling to just, know that you're gonna, fight week will be at home. Fight night you will be at home, and man, once that first bell rings, everything just kind of just goes out the window, and it's just you and the other guys. So at times you don't even it doesn't even matter where you are.
Right. And for you, you're someone that goes away. You go to Maryland, Lamont Roach's camp, and train there for I would imagine a couple months.
This time we're actually out here for about just a little bit over a month. This time around, usually I'll start my camp back home in Dallas, and then last several weeks to a month I'll come out here and just kind of finish off. No distractions, anything, just stay focused, finish off strong. So and train hard out here with Lamont Roach.
How's camp going?
Going good, man. Going really well. It's always good to focus up here. Getting some good work in and staying focused, and they always keep us on point.
Yeah, and last time I checked, your opponent is the ever dangerous to be announced. Have they found an opponent for you?
We're in the works right now, looking at possible opponents. So in concrete yet, but just staying busy, man. That's the main thing, is staying working and just stay ready for whatever. A lot of the times, I mean, I know it's a big comparison, but back in the day fighting the amateurs, man, you fought top-notch guys in nationals. You fought a southpaw one day, you fought a right-handed the next day, you fought a 6'2" guy one day and a guy short, so it's just something that I took from transitioning from amateur to pro. So just got to be ready for whatever.
It's interesting you say that, because I've heard Mike Tyson talk about this on his podcast, Hot Boxing, where fighting in the amateurs is harder than fighting in the pros, because you go to these tournaments and you can get the #1 seed in your first fight, and you don't know, kind of who you're fighting when and such, that it's super tough. Obviously, being in the pro ranks, the skill level, and it's a different style, but there's some truth to that, it sounds like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was on that short end of the stick at times where I'd be at a national tournament, and the first night I had a fight, guy or someone who was a little bit more favored than me, and there was times where it just didn't go my way. I thought it did, and it didn't go my way, and it's just kind of sucks, because I know I could beat most other guys, but just happens to go that way, and that's that.
The last time I saw you, George, or the last time we spoke, actually, you mentioned, you're obviously a little bit older than some of these young guns. Obviously got some Olympic kids out there. Keyshawn Davis, is a pro, is in the Olympics now. But you had about a 2-year window or so that you wanted to fight for a title, if I recall. I also noticed this is your first 10-rounder scheduled. Is that part of that trajectory to kind of get you ready for that title shot?
Yeah, of course. No, that's that time limit, or that window there that I'm kind of looking to is still there. And yeah, of course, I had my first 8-rounder last time and jumping up to 10. So still taking it one fight at a time, but at the same time, it's still kind of like working my way to that position, working my way to at least a small title, and obviously keep climbing that ladder. I don't ever want to put myself in a situation where I feel super rushed and desperate for something, but of course, you're getting older and just gotta take advantage of the time now and make something happen. It's better to try it now than to wait. Try to take my time a little too much, and then by the time I get that shot, it's like, well, damn, I would have been better a year and a half ago. So just try to take that advantage early on.
Yeah, and how much obviously the super lightweight division is pretty stacked, one of the most stacked weight classes in boxing. Are you eyeing anybody at this stage, or you're just kind of next in line and who's ever there when the time is right?
Yeah, I mean, I always just see myself as taking it a fight at a time. Obviously, I see myself getting there to that point where I can start calling people out and getting those big fights. But right now, like I said, the first goal is to get past this next couple fights and get some kind of small title under my belt, and then from there, just see what kind of doors open for me.
Well, we mentioned you fighting under Vergil Ortiz's undercard. Obviously, he's a 23-year-old. Many people consider him, potentially the future face of boxing. He's on the cusp of fighting for a world title if he gets through the Mean Machine. You guys have actually sparred together, I think, not too long ago. What is it like? He was a 140-pounder, not that long ago. What is it like to be in the ring with him?
Oh man, he's real sharp. Of course, young, real strong. Of course, everybody knows that. But I grew up with him, since he started boxing. My dad coached him a little bit in the amateurs as well, so we were always, we grew up together. But a lot of people don't understand how he's actually really smart. He knows what he's doing in there. Forget the whole power thing. Yeah, he hits hard, but he knows how to catch you, how to set up stuff. Real quick twitch, and so man, he's getting to the point where he's gonna be world champion soon, I'm sure.
Is he ready for a Bud Crawford today, in your opinion?
Man, after this next fight, I'm sure that he will be. Of course, everyone knows that Mean Machine gave Crawford a good fight, and so everyone's kind of trying to see how Vergil does against him, and they're gonna try and rate him and his performance to see how he'll do against Crawford. But styles make fights. That obviously he has a different style than Crawford, but at the same time, people are going to see it, and I think for sure, or Vergil is going to be ready for somebody like Crawford after this fight.
I mean, as you know, since you were there, we were both in the arena after his fight with Hooker, and Crawford was actually there. I actually talked to Crawford after the fight, and he essentially said he did what he had to do. He looked good. Hooker is obviously in the Crawford camp. Do you take anything out of that fight with Maurice Hooker? Obviously, it was a good fight while it lasted. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, like Crawford said, he did what he had to do. If he had to me, in my opinion, he had to get that pressure in, and that's the kind of fighter he is. So that kind of took away, I think, a little bit of Maurice's. Everyone knows he's tall, lanky. He'd probably do a lot better on the outside. And he did do, manage to catch him a couple of times, catch Vergil with a few punches using that range. And he has a good right hand, but Vergil did what he had to do, put the pressure on him, not let him get comfortable in there. And you saw he took him out.
So switching gears from Vergil, obviously one of the next superstars of boxing in many people's eyes. But his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, is in the news, which he isn't quite a bit, as he once carried the sport of boxing. He's looking to fight in a real fight against former UFC MMA star Vitor Belfort. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, everyone now is coming out of retirement, so it's gonna be good to see him back in action, of course. And I just recently saw that it's not going to be an exhibition, a real fight. So, he's keeping his word on making his comeback. And if he feels ready for it, so why not? I mean, it's exciting to see some of these guys coming back. Tyson, Roy Jones. You see Mayweather coming in for an exhibition. That's more of just entertainment. But but you see all these guys, not back in their prime, but still going, getting in the ring and doing what they do. So to me, it's going to be exciting to see.
Have you watched any of his video clips on Instagram by chance? And if so, how does he look?
Oh yeah. I've seen some of his clips, of course. I got to follow my promoter. So I'm always watching those little clips he's doing and him training and stuff. And man, it's funny because he has his unique style. So when he's in there, he hasn't really lost a beat as far as getting in there, finding his toes, get hands up, get that little jumpiness in his stance and stuff. So I mean, he's looking good. So we'll see, I guess, come fight night how he does.
Does it give someone like yourself extra motivation when you see Oscar just working out and like you said, on his toes? He's got that distinct style, and he looks in great shape. Does that motivate someone like you?
Of course, it's always motivating to see people that you look up to as a kid. I mean, obviously past their prime and stuff, and a little older now, but still going in there, doing their work, doing what they got to do, road work, bag work, and getting in, getting in the ring, getting back in the ring again. And it's no joke. I mean, some people were thinking that they're just faking it, or it's not real. This, like, man, when you're at a certain age and you get in there, and they might wear a bigger size gloves, they might wear 12-ounce gloves, but that's still ain't no joke. It's still dangerous. So just to see them getting in there, man, that's still motivating. It should be motivating for anybody.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm sure the rest of the stable is probably feeling the same way. Let me ask you this. I don't know how often you and your brother have fought on the same card, but I would imagine, again, fighting in your hometown on the same card as your brother. I know he fought beginning of the year on the Ryan Garcia card. You then fought on the Vergil Ortiz card, and now you're both together. How does that make you feel, and how is that for your family?
And it's always good to fight together, especially during training. Being in camp together, working out together, so keeping each other accountable for everything. That's always the good thing. The bad thing I would say is come fight night, someone's got to go first. So usually it's been me going first. So I get my fight out of the way, and I'm sure he's in the back. I don't know if he's able to watch it or not, and he's got to be getting focused for his fight. I just know, I get more nervous for him than myself. So I can only imagine, being in the back getting ready to fight, and he's up fighting, and I'm over here like, how's it going? So it's always nerve-wracking to see, making sure he does good and everything goes well in his fight. And but I'm excited, man. Being back home, like I said, not too far, literally in our own backyard. Family and friends excited to see. He fought there once already at the Star, but he fought outside in the plaza. But this time it'll be indoors, so that'll be nice. In middle of August in Texas. So
yeah, no kidding. I've covered some of those outside. I probably covered your brother's whenever that was, and I've covered some in Fort Worth in the 100-degree heat. So he has to be inside. And we'll wrap it up here, George, in a minute. I know we don't have an opponent, or there's maybe some negotiations going on, but just from your side, what can we expect on Saturday, August 14th?
I'm just going there and try to do my thing, man. I'm not a big guy who goes in there and tries to, not a big trash talker, like, oh, I'm going to knock the guy out in the first round. Of course, I want to knock him out if I can, but that's part of the game plan there. Just, do what I have to do to control the fight, and if that opportunity comes, obviously go for it and try to take it. But yeah, man, I'm just really trying to look good, man. I just really want to look good and impress everybody. Because of course, every fight I try to do a little bit better. And just, keep going forward. Like I said, climb the ladder for that opportunity.
All right. Well, George Rincon got a big fight Saturday, August 14th on the undercard of Vergil Ortiz Jr. and the Mean Machine. He's fighting the dangerous to be announced, but look for big things from George Rincon with Golden Boy Promotions, and we'll see you Saturday, August 14th. Jeff Zimmerman, FightNews.com. Wish you the best of luck.